Take 66. It's been about a week since I've done a Tino take, and I've been very busy with the Italian community and with the Italian version of this Smartcast. They're two different they're two different things. They're very different from one another because in one I'm speaking to a community in my second language, and in this one I'm speaking to a community in my primary language. Speaking in English for me gives me the opportunity to really be eloquent, to really be articulate, and to really spontaneously get thoughts out of my mind and towards the Steemit community. I've been doing this for a while now. I've been doing this for months and months. The year is passing by. I started this as a result of my frustration of not being able to express myself fully with the situation that happened between Steem and Hive. And as a result of the positive support that I received from Steemians, from the Steemit team, I decided to continue on and to continue to share insights and share what I think or what I feel as a Steemian towards other Steemians. Now, there's a lot of really nice things going on. There's a lot of interesting things that are going on within the Italian community, but I'm not going to talk about that today because we are still in an exciting phase of integration between the Tron system and the Steem system. And so there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to consider. And my first theme for today is called TRX Integration for Mature Steemians. Now, I really enjoyed the last take in which I was given a challenge by the Steemit team to look at certain questions in the overall picture of how do we feel about the Steem and Tron integration, really the Steemit and Tron integration, because this does not concern the Steem blockchain. These were modifications that were done to the Steemit condenser, which is the Steemit app. This has not changed anything for the Steem blockchain. This did not involve any of the witnesses or the changing of code or hard forks. This is simply the Tron Foundation, and if you think about it sincerely, you think about it from a level of maturity, this was a very generous move on the part of the Tron Foundation to reward Steemians within the Steemit condenser, within the Steemit app. So, I mean, this is not something that was done in exchange for, I don't know, a hard fork, a changing of code or any. This did not touch the Steem blockchain code. This was simply an addition to the condenser, to the Steemit app, so that we Steemians can benefit from having rewards given to us based on obviously our ability to attract rewards in Steem power. We are given extra TRXs. So I am really excited to see how things are going. There are small modifications that are being done because when changes are made, you know, you always have your glitches and you have your little bugs and you work those things out, but it seems like everything is going smoothly. So I wanted to start off with this title, TRX Integration for Mature Steemians, because it's been a week since I've been reflecting on these things and since I've been seeing how many people have had positive responses to the challenge that was given from the Steemit team towards this TRX integration. I mean, the number of posts that were written was just absolutely fantastic. And I kind of feel sorry for the new challenge because the new challenge, I think, will not have the same reaction as the TRX integration had. But as the week has gone by and I've seen the response from people, I've thought about those questions again. I haven't reviewed them. I haven't looked at them. I haven't looked at them in a week. So I'm going to have them in front of me again for the first time after a week. And I was curious to see what kind of reaction I would have to those same questions. But not only that, I have things on my mind that I would like to share with mature Steemians. This is not for the beginner. This is it's not even for the old timer who is basically chasing rewards. This is for mature Steemians. And it's actually honestly, it's actually for mature Tronians and as well. But at this point, I don't know who are the Tronians and who are the Steemians amongst us. So for now, I'm just speaking to Steemians because that's who I've been speaking to for so many months now. So for all you mature Steemians out there, and I don't need to define that, you know if you're mature or not. And maybe you'll understand by the end of this take whether it is that I'm talking to you or not. So I'd like to go through these questions. I'd like to show my gratitude towards the Steemit team for continuing to be very professional in their approach to this rebirth, which is now beyond rebirth. I mean, we're born, we're taking off. I've said it in previous takes that I believe that the other blockchains are obsolete. It's just obsolete. I'm seeing things. I've been seeing things for a long time. Steem is the way to go when it comes to social media blockchain. Social media on a blockchain, we got this. Not EOS, not Hive, not Blurt. We got this. Steem's got this. So I want to thank the Steemit team for this wonderful challenge that I know it's over, so I'm not looking for any rewards. I'm just looking for an opportunity to express myself and to get the Tino take back online. Because I'm doing a lot of exciting and fun stuff with the Italian community. So I've been creating a lot of smartcasts with my wonderful co-host, amazing co-host. I've gotten really lucky to have an awesome co-host who is very eloquent, very articulate, and very passionate about the Steem blockchain and the Steemit app. So, what do you think of the integration of Steemit and the Tron ecosystem? These questions will be available in the post, and they're there for you to reflect on. There's no contest here. There's no, the challenge is over. So this is just me taking advantage of really good questions that were posed by the Steemit team that I want to reflect on again. So the questions are going to be in the post if you want to have a look at them, and if you want to reflect on them on your own. And, you know, even if you feel inspired by this Tino take, to go and do another post. Don't just do things because you're looking for rewards. Mature Steemians will understand. What do you think of the integration of Steemit and the Tron ecosystem? I think that this is the winning factor. I think this is what saved the Steem blockchain. This is what saved the Steemit app. The integration of the Tron Foundation into the Steemit system was frowned upon, was judged, was ridiculed, was spat upon. Many negative things have been said and continue to be said, unjustifiably said, and without any kind of real reasoning behind it. When I heard that Tron was coming into the Steemit system, when I heard that Justin Sun had purchased Steemit Inc., I was excited. I was absolutely excited. I don't care about people's personalities. I don't care about, when I see a person who makes a professional move, then I judge that professional move without having to judge the person's personality or the person's personal life. And I'm not attached to any ideologies. So when I said, oh my goodness, we have, number one, a dynamic aggressive, which I won't get into that now, but that's I keep mentioning it because it's a very important factor for me. I've talked about the natural life energies in the past. I've mentioned and absolutely emphasized the importance of the presence of a particular life energy. There are 7 life energies. And if you're going to have a movement, if you're going to have an organization, if you're going to have a nation, if you're going to have anything that requires a macro organizer, then you will not grow. There will not be growth if you do not have that macro organizer, which is the dynamic aggressive. The Steemit system has had micro organizers, but it's never had a macro organizer. It's never had a dynamic aggressive before Justin Sun. So Justin Sun, a dynamic aggressive, an entrepreneur, a very wealthy man, steps into the system. Then what we're looking at is someone who sees a vision, and I've said this in the past, that there was one of two things. You either buy and sell and you make a whole lot of money, or you're really interested in seeing the development and growth. You have a vision for the future. Now that months and months and months have passed, We see that this is not some kind of pump and dump. This is not some kind of buy and sell, buy low, sell high. The Tron Foundation is still here. It's obvious we're talking about the TRX integration into the Steemit system. So this was not a buy and sell. This was not a corporate takeover. This was not all of the silly things that we heard in the past. This is a true integration in which the emphasis and the focus is to actually make the system better. And Steemit has gotten better even before the TRX was introduced in, because the Steemit team was liberated and able to do many of the things that in the past it was practically handcuffed and not allowed and permitted to do. So we've had a lot of growth before the TRX integration, and now we're going to have even more growth because having two coins, see, this is new capital coming into the system. This is what we've complained about for so much time. The amazing thing is that people complained so much in the past about we need to get investors, we need to get investors, we need to get investors. I know some of you who have been listening to the Tino take for a long time, you're hearing me repeat certain things, but sometimes you need to repeat those things because they're still relevant. They're still important. We wanted investors and we got investors. Not only do we got an investor, but now we're having new capital coming into the Steemit system. And that's exciting. How can that not be a positive? How can you not think that this is an excellent thing? Now, the Tron ecosystem has its similarities to the Steem ecosystem, and it has its differences. What's important is that the Steemit app now is connected to the Tron ecosystem as well as the Steem ecosystem. You see, Steemit is an app. Steemit is a condenser. And now it's connected to two different blockchains. That opens up a lot of different possibilities. It doesn't just open up more rewards. It opens up all kinds of different possibilities. And this is what we need to start focusing on, not just the rewards. This is why this is for mature Steemians. Put the rewards to the side. And those of you who are mature, I know you are putting the rewards to the side so that we can face these questions in a mature way. So let's look at the next question. Do you think this TRX integration will bring more Tron users to Steemit? Absolutely. And I've said this in the past, and my main reason for saying yes is because the Tron system does not have a social media app. Steemit is the valuable piece. Justin Sun, I do not believe, was after the Steem blockchain. He was after the Steemit condenser. Because Tron has not been able to create a social media app. In fact, no one else has been able to create a social media app on a blockchain successfully. So this is the reason why Tron users, we're going to have Tronians come into the system. And there are going to be two types of Tronians coming into the system. There are your scammers, and then there's going to be your mature Tronians. Mature Steemians will get along with mature Tronians. Mature Steemians will not get along with Tron scammers. Because unfortunately in the Tron system, there's a lot of gambling, there's a lot of exit scams, there's a lot of people who just want to grab a quick crypto coin and run off with it, and just create a lot of scams for people who are gullible, for people who are crypto enthusiasts or crypto beggars or crypto chasers, reward chasers, call them what you will. I want to appeal to the Steemians, the mature Steemians, to be on the lookout for mature Tronians, because I am absolutely certain that Tron users are really going to like Steemit, especially the mature Tronians, because they're going to find a system that allows them to be able to communicate, form groups, have people gather around issues and be able to communicate and articulate those issues. We've got a solid social media app. It has a lot of room for improvement. It has it has a long way to go before it can really compete with other social media apps. But we have essentially a very successful social media app that's linked into a blockchain. It's using the blockchain technology, and that is an advantage. Facebook tried to dabble around with it, absolutely failed. Reddit is not doing good on the crypto side of things. Yes, I know, I'm very, very aware that they have a larger user base, but I don't believe that they have this kind of system, the uniqueness of Steemit and the Steem blockchain, and hopefully in the future, to be really, really more censorship resistant. We don't want to have the stain and the shadow of censorship in the sense of how it's being used now in a kind of dark way, because I do believe censorship is necessary for certain things in life. We all, those of us who are mature, all believe that certain levels of censorship are necessary, but we also know that there are other levels of censorship that really fundamentally interrupt and interfere with our human right to freedom of expression. Forget constitutions, forget Bill of Rights. I'm talking about being a human being and having the liberty to express yourself, to express your ideas without bringing harm to other people. So Tronians, if you're here, I welcome you. We don't know if you're here or not because it's not evident at the moment. I mean, a lot of Tron users may just come in and become Steemians. They may not want to be Tronians anymore. So, I mean, it's absolutely certain, simply based on the fact that Tron users are interested in TRX, to know that you now have a system. See, here's the fascinating part about this TRX integration, that Tronians now have to come into the system, and it's not like, hey, welcome, you got your Tron wallet, now you can start collecting. No. You got to get your Steem power up. You've got to build up a following. You've got to be a good poster, a good author, a good content creator. You have to be a good commenter. You have to get involved now. You Tronians now have to get involved in the Steemit system to understand how it works if you want to get those TRX. We mature Steemians are already getting the TRX. So if you want to understand the system, come in with a level of maturity. You'll be welcomed. We have greeters. We have all kinds of people that can help new people coming into the system, because it's not enough to know the Tron system. You see, we Steemians are at the advantage here. And I've always said in the past, let's be kind, let's be respectful, let's have manners, and let's welcome them in. And hopefully they will also have manners, and they will come in understanding that, hey, you're not just going to come in here and grab some TRX, because that's not how it works. You're going to work your way up. You're going to have to understand how the system works, and you're going to have to understand how to get yourself some Steem power. And we have plenty of people out there. That's not my trip today. Today, I'm not here to give advice on how to get yourself some TRX. You're going to have to figure that out on your own. Now, next question. Will this addition of TRX to the rewards encourage more people to join Steem? Yes, because the Tron system, the Tron blockchain, has a greater level of popularity. It is higher up on the CoinMarketCap. Justin Sun is well known within the crypto community. So it is only natural that we're going to, just from the simple fact that Tron users are going to come in and join Steem. That answers that question there. But I think what's going to happen is it's going to also start attracting other people that are not part of the Tron system, because people are going to start seeing that there are two tokens here. I mean, look at the advantage of that. If you are a content creator, now think about this, you're a content creator, you want to go look for a social media app platform where you can post up your content and maybe earn yourself some crypto. Well, you might be looking at Hive, and you might be looking at Blurt, and you might be looking at DTube. But what you're looking at here within the Steemit system is a place where you're going to actually earn 2 cryptos if you're good. So how can people who are crypto enthusiasts walk away from an opportunity like that? We've got 2 excellent cryptocurrencies. Steem is still an excellent. Steem is worth more than Tron. TRX has more market cap than Steem. So we're looking at 2 different systems that have their advantages, their disadvantages, their strong points, and their weak points. but we're bringing them together. And I think what's going to happen is when they coalesce, the strength of one is going to help the weakness of the other. And obviously the strength of the other is going to help the weakness of Steem and vice versa. So more people are going to join, but that is also going to be dependent upon the level of promotion and how many people actually know about what is going on. I've seen some comments by people who have suggested that this news of the TRX integration really needs to be put out there and promoted outside of the Steemit system more vigorously, because we can't just stay within the Steem. Now, I'm not good at these things, so I had to, you forgive me if I'm not really participating, and I don't have massive followings on Facebook or YouTube or anything like that, and I'm not good at promoting things. I do my part within the system, and hopefully that's enough. But if there are other people, and I know that there are, who are good at promoting this outside of the Steemit system, outside of the Steemit app, then that's absolutely necessary. That's a must. In fact, I see the word promote in the next question. How can you personally use this news to promote Steem and invite people to join the platform? Personally, myself, I don't have this skill. I don't have this quality. I believe that perhaps I'm helping other people, for example, the Italian community, to better understand, because I learn obviously better through the English language, and then I go and translate that into the community, into the Italian community, and there are people in there. There are people in the Italian community who are better equipped at promoting things outside of the Steemit system than I am. Now, my role is to be able to translate the technicality or the things that I learn from the English language into the Italian language, and then they can go forth and promote that. And I see what's happening within the Italian community is the Italian community is growing, and now we're starting to see. I'm absolutely ecstatic. I'm so happy about this. This is that moment of satisfaction. I'm seeing members of the Italian community who are returning from the Hive system and complaining, and that's a great joy for me, because I knew eventually, once things started to improve, once this rebirth of the Steemit system and the Steem blockchain was allowed to mature, we're still in the infancy stage, but we're like a little baby walking around. So we're not crawling anymore. And it's really exciting to see members of the Italian community who are now strongly considering leaving the Hive system and other systems that they were basically lied into joining. And I believe that that's going to bring other people, especially if we're mature about welcoming them back. We shouldn't be, oh, I told you so. We shouldn't be bashing. I would just like to see us welcome anyone back who left, and hold no grudges and point no fingers, and just say, hey, listen, welcome back. You made a bad choice. You realized you made a bad choice. Now come and help us. Let's not harp on the past. Let's go forward. So the next question is, how can you optimize the amount of TRX you earn? How can you optimize the amount of TRX you earn? Well, everyone knows very well that the placing your post at 100% power up is the best way to get more TRX. Now, beyond that, obviously, is to become a better content creator, a better commenter, gain a better following, get involved in some of the contests. In other words, if you want to get more TRX, you have to get more Steem power. You have to be rewarded more Steem power. In order to get rewarded more Steem power, you have to be a Steemian who deserves to get Steem power by getting votes. In other words, you have to get votes. Now, there's something that's going on at the moment, and we're taking advantage of it within the Italian community, because as it seems at the moment, there's been a very strong pump in the Steem dollar, the SBD. Now, as a result of that, if you set your post to power up 100%, you get no SBD. Now, why is that important at the moment? This was pointed out by my country representative, Girolamo Marotta, who picked up on this. I didn't pick up on this, and now I'm participating because he's asked me to participate in a week-long study to have a look at what is the advantage of not setting your post to 100% power up. Now, the disadvantage is that you're going to get less TRX. The advantage is that you're going to get more steam power. We discussed this, and we have come to the conclusion that for the moment, it is to our advantage, and it is, yes, it's to our advantage to have the steam power. We want to build up more steam power because it is our influence token at the moment. I hope that in the future, TRX will also become an influence token in some way or another. I believe it is only natural that it will eventually become, in some way or another, part of the influence token system. And I'll talk about that in a moment, because it's the last question that the Steemit team posed that I really want to run with. And I ran with it last week, and I want to run with it again, because that's going to be the most important part of this Tino take. So in order to earn more TRX, obviously you have to be a quality, mature Steemian who creates good content that people will vote upon. You can set your steam power to 100%. You can set your post to receive your rewards in 100% steam power. But at the moment, for those of you who are interested in getting more steam power as opposed to TRX, you may want to take advantage of the article that Girolamo Marotta wrote concerning 200% power up. If you look in my post, if you look on my blog on Steemit, you will just scroll down. You will see, once you see the word 200% and Girolamo Marotta, check out that post, and you will have instructions on how to benefit from the moment, for the moment with this price boost in SBD. So, but if you're interested just in TRX, then you really have to work on your rewards from your posts, from your comments, and having more people vote on you. Of course, there are trickster methods to it. You can use bid bots and things of that nature, but I'm not going to encourage that. I'm not going to encourage that in this Tino take. And I'm starting to shy away from it. I mean, look, there are people who are supporting me. There's no reason for me to use bid bots. There really isn't. At this point, there really isn't. So I'm grateful for all the help, all of the support that I've been getting from the Steemit team, from the Italian community, and from all of the Steemians who have supported me before the Steemit team and before the Italian community. For example, the Travel Nepal, the Nepal team community. It's unfortunate that the Nepal team, I think it's because the Nepal team is just too small that they haven't been assigned a country representative. I don't know exactly how many of them there are, but probably it's just the team has not demonstrated that it's large enough to have a country representative. So I don't know all the details of that, but I'm grateful for all the people who have been supporting. So let's get to this last question, because this is where I really want to see if I can focus my insights. What will you do with the TRX you earn on Steem? What will you do with the TRX you earn on Steem? Now I'm speaking to mature Steemians. I will re-emphasize what I talked about last week, but I also want to emphasize a new point, and I will be asking if the developers at the moment who are working on the TRX integration, it would be really amazing. It would be really beneficial, because then it can open up the possibility of other things, of eventually making TRX, the Tron token, begin to make it more of an influence token. And how can we do that? Well, for starters, I want to encourage the developers, if the word gets out to them, or if I find a way to leave a comment or write a post to the development team, to add Tron power to the Steem wallet. Add Tron power to the Steemit wallet. Just as in the Steemit wallet, you have liquid Steem, which then you can power up and it becomes steam power. it would be really great if within the Steemit wallet, and this is simply a display feature. Nothing really has to be changed in the code. It doesn't require anything for the blockchain, but I think it is a very small detail that is extremely important, because this will help Steemians to identify mature Steemians, to identify mature Tronians. And what is this feature? It is display Tron power. Just as we display Steem power and we can see which Steemians are holding their Steem and how much they have held, the Tron power is also essential for helping us understand who are the mature Tronians who have frozen their TRX. And all you have to do is do a simple modification within the Steemit wallet so that we can display how much of the TRX that is in the wallet that is attached to your Steem account, how much of that is being frozen. Because I've frozen a little bit of, because I'm playing around with the TRX wallet within the Steemit system, just to test the little functions and see if there's glitches and bugs. But eventually, I would like to continue to freeze more and more of my TRX. And for those who don't know, freezing is the same as powering up. It's the same function, where in our system we power up. In the Tron system, you freeze your tokens and they are held in the same way that we hold Steem power. The difference being is that we power down and it takes 4 weeks. In the Tron system, it only takes about 3 days. But that's not the point at the moment. The point is that it would be very useful to see within the Steemit wallet how much of a person's TRX is frozen. So let's get Tron power right underneath the TRX, just like we have Steem and then Steem power. Let's get Tron power, and it's a simple display feature. All you have to do is change the code so that a person's TRX that is frozen is displayed and how much of it is frozen. Because at the moment, what's happening is that when I freeze my TRX, it doesn't show up how much of my TRX is frozen, and it actually shows that my TRX has been reduced. In other words, if I have 200 TRX and I freeze 50, when you go and look in my wallet again, you'll see that I have 150 TRX, when in reality I still have 200, but 50 of it was frozen. So it would be very nice to be able to see who is freezing their TRX, who's holding on to their TRX, because that's important. Just like it's important for us to encourage people to hold their Steem in Steem power, we need to start encouraging mature Steemians to hold on to their TRX and to freeze it, because then there will be in the future discussions about the witnesses, or in the Tron system, the super representatives. Now, at the moment, TRX doesn't really do that much within the Steem system, but I believe that in the future it will become an important factor. I'll give you an example. There are certain curation trails that you can't join. Well, you can join them, but you won't really get that much reward unless you have a certain amount of Steem power. That's just a little small example. I think that in the future, what will happen is that we will start having Steemians and Tronians, the mature ones, who will begin requesting that if people want to have the support of a certain trail, the support of a certain community, that they have a certain amount of TRX frozen, a certain amount of Tron power. So you may have a competition in which you say you can participate in this competition if you have a certain amount of Steem power and a certain amount of Tron power. This would be a positive for the community to weed out reward chasers, weed out farmers, and weed out a lot of the negative aspects of what we've been dealing with within the Steemit system for such a long time now. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing is freezing a lot of my TRX, probably most of it, and I'll be bringing in TRX from the outside, and I'll freeze that as well, because it'll become necessary in the future. It'll become useful in the future for mature Steemians and mature Tronians to be involved in, let's say, a democratic system in which we start talking about hard forks and coding and witnesses and super representatives and things of this nature. Because that is the only thing that you can really do with your The only thing that you can really do with your TRX at the moment is that you can sell it. You can send it over to these gambling sites and these exit scam high risk sites, or you can freeze it and get involved in the voting system. Excuse me. And that's the other thing that I wanted to. Now, in the last take, I mentioned the incentivizing freezing, in which I thought it would be an interesting idea if we could increase the rewards based on the amount of TRX frozen. So one of the things that I had proposed was the idea that for now there's a 1-to-1. In other words, for every 1 Steem power that you gain from your post or your comments, you get 1 TRX. But for example, if you have 1000 TRX frozen, then that could be incremented and brought up to one Steem power equals 1.1 TRX, just as a means of incentivizing people to freeze their TRX and hold on to their TRX. But beyond that, what we have to consider, those of you who are mature Steemians, is that things are going well, things are progressing, things are looking up, things are positive. Eventually, however, we have to get back to the notion, and we have to get back to the fact that our system is a system that is based on voting, consensus witnesses, with regards to the coding of the system, the hard forking of the system. In other words, this is a social media app on a blockchain. And when you have a social media app, you have communication. You have people who can propose ideas, people who can propose changes. And then in the comments, people can discuss that. People can voice their opinion. People can modify the idea if they see fit. And then we can kind of look for a consensus to say, okay, we have the vast majority of Steemians who are saying that this kind of change should be made to the code, and hence we propose that to the consensus witnesses. The consensus witnesses can sit down with the Steemit team, Steemit Inc., the Tron Foundation, because we're still structured like a company. So there's a lot of sitting around a table that needs to be done before any of the code can be changed. But eventually, we are going to be asked, hopefully, to be more involved in the hard forking, the changing of code. And when that happens, then mature Steemians, I believe, will mature even more. And because of the amount of TRX that is going to be coming into the system, the Steemit community will eventually begin to have a powerful say in the Tron system as well. Because freezing your TRX, and remember, you're earning Steem and you can put it into Steem power, and then that gives you the ability to be able to vote in consensus witnesses. If you accumulate TRX through your activities as a content creator, you freeze that TRX and you can vote upon super representatives within the Tron system, which has, the same function of changing code, hard forking, and things of that nature. It's a governance system, and it's a democratic system. It's an entrepreneurial system. And so mature Steemians and mature Tronians should take advantage of the fact that we have a social media app that allows us to communicate and try to reach some kind of valuable consensus as to where we want to take things in the future. This is something that other blockchains just simply do not have. I mean, we have everything recorded on the blockchain, and we have votes. We have people who hold more influence than others based on how much Steem power they have. And in the future, those people who hold on to their TRX, freeze it, will then become valuable voters within another system that's going to require a communication between people about what kind of changes we would like to see made. And Yeah, other than that, holding on to your TRX is probably a good idea, because when other Tronians come into the system, developers, they may be able to bring us different ideas about different apps. I mean, playing around with the Steem system, learning from the Steem system, I believe Tronian developers may begin to understand how they can start to begin to build better apps that are more suitable to people who are interested in content creating. And one of the main things that the Tronians need to overcome is all of the complications with bandwidth and fees. Now, from what I'm learning now, if you freeze a good portion of your TRX, then you can eventually get to a point where you do not have fees to deal with. You do not have bandwidth issues. And it's not that much different from the Steem system. I mean, we don't have fees for transactions, but we do have a sort of a bandwidth, the resource credits. And when you come in, you don't have resource credits that allow you to just kind of do whatever you want all day, every day. I mean, your resource credits run out, which is the equivalent of kind of a bandwidth, and then you have to wait for that to recharge up again. But if you freeze some of your TRX and you invest that in energy, then you will have less transaction fees to pay. Then, depending on how much activity you do on the Tron blockchain, you may not pay any fees because you don't use up all of your energy. Energy is the equivalent of the fees that you need to pay. And if you have enough Tron TRX frozen, then you don't have to worry about that energy, especially if you're not doing much activity on the Tron blockchain. But if you do have the intentions to have to be very active on the Tron blockchain, then you would want to freeze more of your TRX as energy, and as well as bandwidth. So you kind of want to put some aside for energy, and you want to put some aside for bandwidth. Fortunately, when you come into the TRX, the Tron system, bandwidth is already distributed to people, just as within the Steemit system, you're given resource credits. So it won't take long for Steemians to understand the Tron system. What will take some time is to understand how we mature Steemians can become more involved in the governance system, and more involved in how to properly choose consensus witnesses and how to properly choose super representatives on the Tron side of things. So that's all I'm going to share for today. I really enjoyed these questions, so much so that this is my second round. I had to go at this again. And I hope that mature Steemians will consider what I have shared and consider the future. Don't just look at the quick grabbing of rewards now. If you have your TRX, freeze it. Developers, please add within the Steemit wallet as a display feature how much TRX a Steemit user has frozen. In other words, their Tron power. Let's see Steem power and let's see Tron power. And let's start creating activities that encourage more Steem power and more Tron power. That's all for today. I really want to thank everyone for the support. I'll hopefully get more Tino takes coming out, and go into the Italy community, because we are doing a lot of fun things, a lot of exciting things. I mean, we watched this community from the summer up until now. It's grown from like 5 people, and now we're closing in on almost 600 users. There's lots of activity. There's lots of contests, lots of rewarding going on, and lots of interaction. And we've got a lot of things lined up. I mean, we have we have so many ideas that we're going well into 2021. And we're adding even more. So come into the Italian community and see what we have to offer to you. It doesn't matter if you speak Italian or not, or if you live in Italy or not. We have developed a system that allows us to be able to host our non-Italian Steemians and give them the opportunity to have some fun, earn some rewards, and make some new connections in this social media network on the blockchain. Listen, everyone, thank you for listening. We will catch up on the next take.